Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Personal Punga. It's another week, and we've got another topic for you. And today's topic I came up with today when I was sitting at my basic work kind of event. It's like a team building event, and it got me thinking. It's basically about diversity and inclusion, and also about racism. You know how racism is going about these days, and what people are doing. You know, to kind of counteract it, or just generally about the topic. So Anna,
Yes. Hi, hello.
How are you doing?
Parallel, we wrote it.
Nice. Same puppy, same. Yeah. So, first of all, what do you think racism is? And just define racism in your eyes.
Racism is when you are discriminatory towards an individual because of their race, culture, or ethnicity.
Wow, did you look this up or something?
No, I'm just intellect.
No, he's just been abused that much that he needed to look it up.
I've learned it.
He's got it ready to say to anyone.
Just in case I get taken to court one day.
Yeah. Your Honor, my brother. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Also, obviously, we are minorities. We came from a different country, right?
Shout the minorities.
Of course. Being Tamils, obviously, I'd say we didn't really experience. We kind of experienced the next step of obviously what our parents experienced. I feel like.
Yeah, we're minorities of Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So obviously, the intensity of racism, the intensity of that, like diversity back then, was so much more higher. And so, in your experience, obviously not with your parents. I mean, unless you know how your parents felt back then. How do you think racism has changed from back then to now? Like in terms of think about if you go to places, are there anything like any sort of rules in place, for example, or like have people changed their ways, or
I'll say I don't want to call it systemic either, but sort of, do you know, like the underlying racism, like the subtle ones where it's like they will never say or do anything directly towards you,
right,
but everything that is done is sort of insinuated. I think like that kind of racism still exists. I think like we have like a subconscious where like we all look at like a particular race, a particular appearance, and then we make our judgments very quickly. So I think there's just that sort of racism, but then like I don't think there is like the blatant like you can't like chuck a brick through someone's window. I mean you could, but it's less likely to happen nowadays. Like it's not like
back in the day it was the brick. Now it's a pebble.
Yeah, like now it's a tweet. Like it's stupid. But I because like I think the world has become a lot more desensitized. I think through the internet. So I think racism has taken a very different form, like idiots attract idiots sort of thing. Where like so like you'll meet like other racists will meet other racists, and then they'll form bigger groups, and you have like a.
Is that that group that's it? You know I forgot
the KKK.
Yeah, KKKs.
Yeah.
Triple Ks.
Like even like not like neo-Nazis or whatever. Like nowadays you're more likely to find groups that are sort of like as in formed because
more like cults, right?
Yeah, like because they can access themselves each other a lot more easily.
Is that video that Nico did? Have you seen it?
They're going to the world's most racist town.
Yeah, and then he spoke to the guy and he made him say stuff. That was so funny. I love that episode. He had so much big balls for him to do that, but at some point I thought it was fake.
That's not the worst thing. Like, no, but I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's like I was gonna say like, you do need balls to do it, and like you 100% do.
Yeah,
I think it's because they could actually just shoot you in it.
Exactly. I mean, if you. I mean, they don't need to find out. He's walking in being a black man, or not black man, but a minority. So he could have been attacked that day. But, anyways,
would you do that?
No, well, it depends on what. Like what? Walking into a place that that hates Tamils and Asians.
Yeah, and just go.
Walking into little kids.
Going to like a full Sinhalese like place.
Yeah.
And just now
I feel like now I would do it, but back in the day, you know how they used to describe that whole environment, obviously how people used to look at you, and you know they would have police and like soldiers that would be walking about, and apparently they always keep an eye on you. And I think I remember when I was younger, it's just in 2005 or 2006, I went and I could feel I was like, I think I was like 7. So obviously your understanding of things aren't that great, but you know when you go to a place and you feel tense. I felt that.
Yeah.
You know, especially when I got out the airport. Obviously you're still in Colombo, and you know, like you see those people and you're like, you've heard of these stories, because I used to get involved with like a lot of Tamil school events where they kind of drew it into you, right? So like for example, if you're doing like drama or like some sort of shows, they're like, okay, you're gonna act out this character, and basically. Oh, 1 second. Give me a second. My thing just stopped.
Oh, dun.
You have to continue talking.
It's just me now. Hello. I was playing Sudoku. As in, I've got the evil one set up. Not the evil one. It sounds very weird. I say like that. I'm on Sudoku.com. On the evil setting, so it goes easy, medium, hard, expert, evil. I've never tried evil. I was recommended by someone to try evil. They did it in half an hour, so I was a bit annoyed. I'm like, yo, like if they can do it in 32 minutes, surely I can give it a go. So I'm gonna give it a go today. See how it goes. Should go well. I'm not Sudoku master, but I like doing my Sudoku. You know, I like doing the Metroku. You know, it's the one on the train when I'm just going into work. But I want to learn how to become better at Sudoku, you know. Right now, like, I don't take the risks. Like, if I know a number is a certainty, then I'll put it in there. Otherwise, I'm not taking that risk. So, yeah, but I want to learn other techniques. Like, how do I get better? How do I get faster? You know, and become a Sudoku king. I feel like they should make this an anime. Like, it's just me, a boy, just, like, progressing through life, trying to become the Sudoku master. He goes to championships. And like the numbers, like they pop out and become monsters and fight for him, and he faces other Sudoku merchants. You know, I'm making a whole storyline here.
keep going. Give me 5 more minutes.
But yeah, I feel like that'll be a good story. I would love to. Yeah, so Sudoku's like a little bit of tea, a little bit of Sudoku, mate, can never go wrong. Gonna have a shower. Went for a walk today. Walked my dog. Same bitch that bit this finger. Yes, not this little piggy. This little bitch. She bit my finger. And now I've got half a finger. I mean, I still got the finger. I just ain't got the nail. You know? I put the finger in. The dog... Yeah. And then the dog was shaking. And the dog shook and took my finger. So now I've got half a nail. It's growing back, you know, progress. I had no nail. Now I've got half a nail, you know. In a week's time, I'm going to have 3/4 of a nail. You know, you never know. It's all progress. But yeah, this evil timer on the Sudoku has been going on for an hour, even though I loaded it up before I went for a walk, and it hasn't been an hour. It's been like 3 hours. But it was a good walk. Walked Coco. Me and my cousin came up with the diagnosis that she may be autistic. I've never considered a dog autistic, but you know what? But watching... Yeah, dog is him. But you know, looking at my bitch, she looked like she could be autistic. So I am gonna conduct some experiments, you know, see if she's on the spectrum. But she's a dog, you know. Is she just showing dogerial behaviors? Do you know what I mean? But we're gonna test it today. There you go. Thank you for listening to my segment.
I saved you guys. I had to leave him with you for 5-7 minutes. I'm pretty sure people have left by now.
No, that was a good little segment, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're being animalistic, animalism, dogism.
No. I just have a theory that my dog may be autistic. That's it.
Oh no, I heard that. I was gonna say maybe you're autistic and you're looking at him in that way. You're like,
game recognized game.
Oh god. Okay, where I left off, I was talking about Tamil school stuff, and obviously they drill stuff into you, and you always have that tense feeling because you know what's happened, right? You know millions of people's died, and so like that kind of scares you off, right? Like back then I would have been like, no, 100% no. I'm not gonna walk into a space full of, you know, Sinhalese people. But now looking at it, it's more like our sort of life has obviously changed. You know, we got the different generation of Sinhalese people. Now you know that they support the movement as well. They don't believe the fact that loads of Tamil people they shouldn't have been killed, and they agree with that fact, and they know what's wrong with the government and stuff like that. So it gives a bit more it gives us a bit more of a safe space to kind of like do what Nico did in a way. But so
just on that kind of light down a scale.
If you ever see us go to Sri Lanka, we're gonna walk into like an army camp, freaking to
wearing like Tamil Tiger, like
Tamil
Tiger t-shirt,
and then
bandana.
we'll have Pango in here. Wait, I'm gonna get
of course.
We'll have Pango in here if you can see it. Yeah,
it's like how like football players like wear the band. We'll just wear one as well.
All the colours as well.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, but I don't know. I still feel like how you said they have KKKs and different cults. I still feel like there's probably people that believe what they did, was right back in the day. So,
but that's war, though, isn't it? Like,
again,
in war, like there will always be two sides to any story.
Yeah.
And like the other like for example in World War II, the Nazis probably thought they were right. Do you know what I mean? Like how does a crazy man convince a whole nation that killing Jews is like correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
But
So I guess like
again, that's like the environment that you're built in, right? Hitler drilled it in their heads. Basically gave them a form that this is your enemy. I don't care if it's a baby, that's your enemy. And
get rid of it.
Yeah, get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like or that fear that if you don't do it, you're gonna die or your family's gonna suffer.
Yeah.
A lot of people back in the maybe that would have been the case with them as well. Sinhalese people, maybe they didn't want to do what they did. Some people, not everyone has that mentality. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But I wouldn't. I don't think I still would walk into a place like that and
Just
try
what.
You
never know.
I feel like in the next 2 weeks I'm going to be the only one running bunker due to a big fatality that my bunker walked into. But
I disappear. There's just no trace of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Hear from me, speak
They contact me and they're like, you are the only one who created Pangu. Your family lives if you believe that. And I'm like, welcome to another episode of Personal Pangu. Again, only
it's
me.
Just me.
Only me.
Just me.
For the few years, it's only been me, And then we just have to edit out your cuts, edit out your face, and then it's like a floating body just talking.
Just do like AI, put like an animation next to it.
It'll be me and Mahatma Gandhi.
It'll be
like
close
Bruce
enough. Lee for the next one. I thought you were gonna call me like Princess Diana or something. God damn.
That's fine. I feel like our talks are much dirtier than it would be if me and Princess
Diana.
No, I know. She's beautiful.
Spice Queen.
But yeah, again, bringing it back, because obviously like the whole So in the whole like racism factor or like the whole diversity factor, like this kind of sprang to me when so a lady came to speak about, because she was like a ambassador for it, or I think so, like she was working on behalf of diversity stuff, and she literally just mentioned the point that obviously like we have this kind of initial, what you just said, this initial judgment that when someone
prejudice,
prejudice, but even if it doesn't mean that necessarily you're a bad person, but when you're walking into a room, everyone has that perception of you, and I always think
Do you know what
I mean? And I always think of it work-wise as well. I think from my experience, I've always felt so. Like for example, if I'm presenting in front of a new audience, or if I'm talking in front of a new audience, it's always like I'm walking in and I could feel that sort of like, because I am an overthinker, right? And being a minority is like, for me, I'm already thinking, okay, what are these people thinking, right? So when she did mention that, I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, no matter what you do, can you ever kind of raise that fact? Like, can you ever be like, yeah, no, this guy's this guy's that, before he even starts talking,
What, in race or in general?
Race, general, everything, like disability comes into it as well, right?
Yeah, race-wise you can, like, generally, I think eventually you can.
Yeah.
I feel like like nowadays, if you see like a corporate office full of like different color like people, like it's normal, and like you kind of expect like how people are going to talk, how people are going to behave. Like you don't really bat an eye to. I think I'm talking from like a white person's perspective. And I guess stuff like disabilities as well. Like I guess we are becoming a more sort of welcoming. I don't want to say welcoming, accommodating towards it. Like even stuff like I feel like even if it's a physical one where it's like Down syndrome, where you can do like you can tell like physically like people still or like I don't know, someone with limp or I don't know, man. You can definitely tell with someone, and like they will what's the word I'm looking for, like like they will be accommodating, and it's just like like I feel like you can get rid of the perception of like stereotypes basically, like for example thinking like every Indian is a corner store shop owner or something, but then I feel like naturally as humans we will always make an impression on someone, like we will always just make some sort of impression on someone, because you need everyone to fit into something where like even if it's like even if it's positive, like it's just like, oh, like this is a well-dressed man in a suit, like it's still an impression.
You're not talking about yourself,
still gonna judge. No. Me, I look sexy in a suit. But like it will always be there, because I think as humans we just always have an opinion.
Oh wait, before we continue, clap, because I started a new thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, we've clearly clapped the wrong bit. It's great.
It's okay.
But
I heard it.
Building on that point that you were saying, I also thought, like, for example, like, you know, like when we do have that, like, it's more so I feel like kind of for minorities or disabled people or people that are, you know, we're living in a white country at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
You know, so there's more sort of like, I don't know, kind of a baseline for the white people. And no offense intended, but
fuck those white ones.
And like I said, if you start like, for example, like let's say like a minority person, like for example, I don't know, he has to speak up, he has to do a presentation. I feel like that person would have to work a bit harder to convince, not convince, but like get a point across. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Like they also say that about females as well.
Yeah,
like they say,
exactly.
Like, a female would need to like. Sometimes like people already have the perception of like, even if they don't mean it, they have a perception of like, oh, like this dumb woman. So I can see like in the raceway as well, like, oh, look at this dumb fucking Tamil. So escaped this country trying to prove a point to me.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? And so I feel like that's been happening since before. And I feel like one interesting thing is, I don't know if you've clocked this as well, like most Tamil people, I feel like, or most like minority people, they're super nice to other people. Like they're like, for example, like even I had this talk with so he's a white guy married to a Tamil girl. He's a friend of mine. And he brought up this point. He was like, you're really well mannered and you're really nice, and most Tamils are this way. And he wondered why. And I'm like, yeah, is it because we live in another country and we're like, do you know what I mean? Like we're kind of,
you have to be respectful, and it's sort of
respectful,
like it's like a pretty solid. It's like
because obviously it's your upbringing as well,
like,
right?
I don't want to say it's like a coolie worker mentality, but it's sort of like that.
It is. That's the point I'm trying to make. At the end of the day, that's what you know. When our parents came here and they first of all got a job, imagine what they had to be like. Like obviously the hard worker mentality. I work in the weekends. Like. They wouldn't have probably said like, oh no, I can't do this because I got leisure to do, you know, or something like that, you know. And I feel like now that's eased up. Now we can say that, but again, that Maria, and stuff like that.
Respect.
100%.
I feel like minorities in general are very like when it comes to like working in general, like work ethic. Like we're just a tad bit more like I think it's like it's not even like it's like a respect, but you're sort of bowing down to your employer as well. Like it's just a bit weird. But I know what you mean.
It's like an automatic reaction. I think that to myself as well. Obviously, I try and be nice to everyone who I meet. I'm not gonna be like, oh, yo, dickhead, if you're a brown person, and then say something nice to white. But I feel like obviously just overall we kind of tend to be so much more nicer and like. Not in a show, like in a blowy offy way. I'm not saying that like that, but it's just like an automatic response. And I don't know if it's like a immigrant kind of way or, you know.
I think it is, you know. I think it is. Because I feel like I see that with other children, other guys, like other people in the office. that like who are like like children, like minorities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see it. Because they're scared to break the rules. Where like I see certain man, they just come and go, "Hey,
Yeah.
Dave,
What you
sign
say,
out for
bro?
day."
Yeah, nice little
Yeah,
pint, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got
Slugs,
a
slugs.
Polish guy that I work with, and he's got the same mentality. He's super nice, but you know,
Yeah.
I spoke to him like at a social and stuff like that, and he's got a different personality with me then.
Do you think it's because we have like we sort of tell ourselves like this is the person that's like paying for our livelihood, like this is the person that's paying my bills.
Maybe,
like I need
maybe
to.
so.
I owe them something.
Yeah, could be.
Sorry, continue. I'm gonna Polish
I
guy.
don't know. So he's the same thing. Like he's super nice to the people. Like, you know. But then at the end of the day, his mentality I could see. You know, Chumanda, like when you just speak like that, it's like again, like it's like us. Like, you know, when we chill and drink and talk, it's like burra katra kind of mentality. You're not gonna be like so. Yeah.
Oh, so sad.
So sad. கொஞ்சம் சோறும் கறி கொடுத்தா தொடங்கிடுவான். But
Yeah. Fun fact: my first ex was Polish.
yeah, I remember that. I was so baffled when you said that first time. I was like, huh? It's like one of those things that, you know, those guys, some guys just say stories that they're with girls and then they're actually not with anyone.
I'm like Jay from the In-Betweeners.
Yeah, is that the worst lie you could have? Yeah, worst lie you could have thought of. Not even Vallakari, Polish curry.
FIFA 32, yeah, mate, completed it.
Locked it off. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, mate, easy.
Yeah, well, that was this week's topic. I thought it was, you know, because we used to talk about stuff like this before. You know, like we just used to kind of bring up these topics and just share our thoughts on it, and thought it would be good to talk about racism.
'Cause I don't think I've been like a proper victim of it.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a level of systemic racism where maybe I don't even know that it exists, and I think that like I haven't. Have I experienced it? Maybe I'm not important enough to experience it.
I feel like you would have experienced it when you were younger.
Yeah.
And that's more sort of an open way, because I experienced it when I was younger, because obviously being called certain names and, you know, being new into England as well, from Germany,
England.
is a whole different thing. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like I experienced it a lot more when I was younger, and now everyone's mature, and even if they have something to say, again, it's like this underlying thing.
Yeah,
that you're not being rude, but you're at the same time you're judging.
And it's the internet, man. Any man can just get recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like put on the internet, and then that's
TikTok. That's it. Case closed.
I don't. But
it's a sad reality, but you know, I guess there's good sides to it as well. We're in a diverse world.
Hate as well. Yeah, 100%. It's what do you think eventually we will like, you know how like we get married like now, like you're
me and you.
Yeah, like, anyone.
What?
I mean, listen, the world's going where the world's going. But
no.
But like, you know, like for example, like, we have interracial couples, like we have white guys and Tamil girls.
Yeah.
I ain't naming names. But like yeah, like so, like, do you think eventually, like, the thing of race will just not exist because we've all just mangled up races? When like Karen goes into like,
it's like
Swedish, then Tamil,
everyone says everything.
Colombian and German, island or
to be fair, I think it will, because like even now when I think of it, like let's say I bring back home a white person or someone who's not Tamil, I feel like my parents will be okay with it, and there was a point in time I thought my parents would fully want like a Tamil, you know, madumaga, or like, you know, love was a whole concept before, but now it's like, you know, whatever makes you happy kind of a thing, because they know this is the world. Do you know what I mean? They know this is the world, and I feel like
pop it out.
If that generation starts thinking like that, our generation, are you gonna care if someone else, you know, if your kid's gonna bring back a Chinese girl or boy, you know, or like
yes. Take it. The man started COVID. I don't want him in my house.
I'm doing the drama thing. Yeah, so I feel like eventually we'll get to that point, and that's what I want it to get to as well. Like, you know, listen, everyone travels, everyone goes to different countries to experience their tradition, their food, their clothes, their fashion. Like,
yes, sir.
We should be able to do that without any sort of, you know, racism. I feel like white people go to different countries as well, right? They go there and work, and
to
they
find themselves.
Yeah, to find themselves. And I feel like they might face some sort of other racism, right? So it's a
They
it's a
face
two-way-
colonizer
two-way
racism.
street. Yeah, exactly. But even then, they have a bit more priority because that's an Asian
Yeah.
country, and this is.
Yeah.
But
You know, apparently
either
one of
way.
the reasons why like slavery like was such a big thing,
Yeah.
like the one when when they would take like Africans to like America and stuff, well, compared to like slavery that's done by like, you know, back in the day between countries where like there's tribes and stuff, and you know, like each tribe will steal like another tribe or another city's people and make them slaves and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like Egyptians were slaves, like because like the only reason like when the British and the Europeans all did it, well, the only reason it was a big deal was because it was the first time it was done for like monetary value or like a commercial value, like so like it was a business, so selling
Yeah.
off people was the business itself, and that's why it's a bit more bad than, you know, when you murder a whole village and you take their people, that's different. That you earned them slaves. Yeah, sorry.
He's gone back to 1000 BC.
Yeah. Women back in the kitchen.
Wow. நீ கூட கல்யாணம் நடந்த மாதிரி தான் first
Yeah,
of all.
no, it happened. I might just have to be gay. Fuck it.
What? You might have to
I
what?
don't know. No, you heard nothing.
You might have to
Sundar,
PK.
Sundar, you heard nothing. No, I said be gay.
Oh, I thought you want to move to PK, and I was like, அந்த
Nah.
பாவி என்ன செஞ்சவன்? பாவம்.
He's waiting.
He's
He's waiting for the chance.
Yeah, he's waiting with he's waiting with the gimbal that he gave you. He's like, I gave you this, give me your low.
Yeah. But
He's a
Ukul
nice
is
guy, you know. So,
Yeah, he's alright. He's a dickhead.
yeah.
Dick. A dickhead.
Nah.
He's lovely. But yeah, we'll call it here, man.
Huh?
We'll call it here. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
yeah.
I'm
I was gonna
tea
say
for-
yeah.
And
So
I got
I was
tea
closing
for-
off. அதுக்குள்ள நீ இன்னொரு point.
Sorry, I was talking about slavery
no
and all
problem.
this.
கொஞ்சம்
stuff.
emotional ஆயிட்டார் போயபுள்ள, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Um,
Actually, sorry.
என்ன சொல்லுங்க.
I was gonna say, if you want to cop this hat or other cool
தமிழ்ல
stuff,
சொல்லுங்க,
Pangu
please.
Dot Co.uk.
தமிழ்.
உங்களுக்கு இந்த
One
தொப்பி
to the
வேணும்னா
5 minutes.
pangu.co.uk போய் இந்த தொப்பி வாங்கலாம், இதுல கருப்பு தொப்பி வாங்கலாம், நீங்க ஒரு மக் வாங்கலாம்,
ஆஹா, இப்படி ஒரு
நீங்க ஒரு
t-shirt
bandana
வாங்கலாம்.
வாங்கலாம். நான் போட்டிருக்க டிஷர்ட் இல்ல, நான் ஒரு வேற டிஷர்ட் வாங்கலாம். இது
இங்க
அந்த டிஷர்ட் அந்த டிசைன் ஒரு வேறமான டிசைன் வாங்கலாம், ஒரு ஹுடியும் வாங்கலாம்.
Yes.
இல்லாட்டி net சும்மா ஒரு வெப்சைட்டை போய் பாருங்க, யூனோ அதுல படம் இருக்கும், voyeur செக்ஷன் இருக்கு, அதுல ஒரு படம் இருக்கும், அதுல போய் பாருங்க.
என்ன படம் சார்?
அந்த படம்
உங்களோட
அது
படமா?
நான் வேற அது நான் வேற வெப்சைட்ல போட்டிருக்கேன்.
Oh my lord.
It's a Pangu porn coming to you soon. Thank you.
Kakus.
But அவ்வளவுதான். நன்றி வணக்கம்.
Yeah, இத்துடன் விடைபெறுகின்றோம். நன்றி வணக்கம். அடுத்த கிழமை பார்ப்போம்.
சந்திப்போம். Bye.
Bye.
Done. Okay, now send this to me.